Hey, what's up YouTube? This is your boy Kona Enthusiast and we're back with another video. So we're finally getting around to upgrading the fuel pump on my car. So as you know, I have a JB4 tune now and I also have a downpipe. So at this point, basically we're dealing with some fueling issues in the logs, and it's also just needed for pretty much stock or tune to upgrade the fuel pump. So my boy Chandler, he basically is giving me the fuel pump, the upgraded fuel pump he was going to use before he sold his Veloster in. So we're gonna go ahead and get that put into this car. So let's get this video started. Alright guys, so basically the first step that we're going to have to do is basically remove the fuse for the fuel pump. That's going to be in here, so you'll be able to locate it on here. And I've already found it. It's going to be this 20 amp right here, sitting next to the blank. So use your fuse puller, and we're going to go ahead and pull this out right here, like so, and just sit it into a safe spot right here. So I'll just leave this on here. All right guys, so we basically have let the car die. It took about 2 minutes, give or take, for it to just run the fuel out. So the next thing now is just basically try to start the car and get the last of it out of the factory fuel pump. That should be all right guys, so the next step after that is basically to do the battery, which we basically had a 10 millimeter. We went ahead and untaken it. You just pull it off like so, and that's that. The next thing after that is to move this hose. I don't know what it's laid to, it's something with the intake, but here's the hose, and you basically just need to take it off in order to access the fuel pump. So and I'm gonna use this because my engine is still pretty hot, so yeah. All right guys, so we got that off right there. The next step is to just basically just move this out the way so we can get to the pump itself. We'll just put that right there behind the wires for the downpipe, basically your emissions. Pull this off like so, leave that to the side somewhere. And the next thing is to basically first off remove the sensor for the fuel pump right there. And that should be just the easy, just pull it off like so. All right guys, so we got that done. So the next thing now is to remove the bolt that's basically on the driver's side of the fuel pump right here. So we're gonna put this on like so. We have a bunch of towels and, well, basically rags and stuff that's kind of under it, just to be safe, because the fuel may come out, may drip out. So we just want to be fine with that. So you just basically grab it right here and you pull it towards yourself. So okay. Clip that you just saw, basically we're just letting it bleed. Basically released it a little bit and just let the fuel pressure, but just still letting some out now. And we covered it with the towels, that way it doesn't get everywhere. But it just has to bleed the last of the fuel pressure out from the factory. All right guys, so now that we have that loosened right here, the next thing is to take this tab off so we can remove the final part of the factory fuel pump. So you have to be very careful with this. For what I've heard, it is pretty much like super fragile, so just be careful when you pull this up. Like that. So that is up, and then to remove it, you're gonna have to use a flathead screwdriver and put that, from what I've seen, is under here to loosen it. Again, you want to be very careful. Don't apply a whole lot of pressure, just enough to take it off like so, and boom,
perfectly done.
The last thing to do is to remove this last wire. There was some pressure, but when you're removing this, please be careful. It'll be a lot closer when you do it, but go to as far back as you can to this, because if you pull this one, you will break that. Don't ask me how I know or how the guy that's filming this knows.
It was broke on my Veloster when I was going to do it, and that's why I didn't change my fuel pump.
Which is why I got it now.
Yep.
So anyways, you just hold on to this right here and pull back, and you just kind of go left, right to get the tabs off. Push it like that, and so that easy. So the next thing from there is to basically just pull the fuel pump off. All right, so I lied. That was not the last step. This is actually the last step now. Just to remove these two 10 millimeter bolts right here from each side of the factory, from the factory fuel pump. So my suggestion is just to do a little bit at a time. Is this set the time? Okay, just do a little bit at a time for each side. And then once you're able to, just kind of, you go however you need to, but just start off kind of slow on each side, just in case there's still some pressure. I imagine there's definitely gonna be some fuel left in here with the way I drive. It drove on the way here. So from here, like I said, you just grab the factory fuel pump and the hose is next to it and separate it a little bit as you're lifting up. Like that. And so there is still some fuel left in here. I'm feeling it kind of on the towel. So this is the factory one. The one that we're actually installing in here is from the Sonata 2.0. Back when they made that engine for the 2.0.
That pump
turbo.
is straight from Korea.
Straight from Korea. Even has the new Hyundai
From that
logo.
boy, Albert Huang. So anyways.
So yeah, as you can see on here, this is the part number that you need for it whenever you look it up. Okay. And I'll also have that listed at the bottom so you can see it as well. But yeah, that is pretty much that right there. So we're going to go ahead and do the process, which is super easy to go ahead and reinstall or install. So we're going to go ahead and put in this pump. We did take the gasket off of the factory one. Please make sure you take this gasket off, and it does go on in a certain fashion, in a certain way. That was my southern saying of the day, certain fashion. And when you put it on here, you basically want to try to make sure this goes in a sense with
Or
this.
no.
Like that?
Yeah.
Like this right
Yep.
here.
And then,
Okay.
all right, there you go.
All right, like that. And it's not gonna be seated all the way until you put the bolts in. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and put the bolts in right now and go to get that part started. Also, it's recommended that you basically change these out and order new bolts to go right here at the base of this. Apparently they strip over time,
Or they can, so an issue that people would have with some of the velocitors when they would do it, they would when they're retorquing this, they would shear off the head of the bolt, and the bottom of the bolt would get stuck down in there. So there's a TSB Hyundai recommends to replace those. So yeah, the part number is right there. So anyways.
All right, so we're torquing it down, and the torque spec's supposed to be 10.9.
Yeah, 10.9 foot-pounds.
10.9 foot-pounds right here. Do it a little bit at a time, left, right, until it's completely tightened.
And this is, I'm just getting it on there, and then I'm gonna go back with my torque wrench and get it exact. So
from here, it's pretty simple, man. We just put this on here.
shove that thing in there.
Shove that thing in there. Shove that thing in there.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to make a shirt with that quote right there. All right, and then you put this back on like so. Make sure it sits towards the front like that, and connect the clip over here. And then you got, all right, so we're just hand threading this on right here. That's tightened. That didn't take but like 2 seconds. And then we're just gonna tighten it a little bit more just to make sure everything is good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this on here, put this back into the intake, and use my needle nose pliers to pull it back up. And then we'll connect the battery, put the fuse in. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put the 20 amp in right here. Do this before you put the battery in. I guess it's kind of opposite of how it was last time. I'm just gonna hold this by hand. It won't mess none. We got some test ones as well anyway. So put this back in like so, like that. All right, guys, so we started up the car. It is working fine, as you can tell. So we basically got everything finished. It was a pretty easy process. Honestly, without recording, it probably would have took 10 or 15 minutes, honestly. But yeah, so we're gonna throw this back on here. Let the car run for about 10 or 15 minutes. But yeah, guys, I'll provide the part numbers in the description. Also on the video itself, as you probably have already seen. I noticed the issue with stock. You could probably buy the factory one, but as far as like from 6 Element or in performance sites, they're gonna be a little bit difficult to find. But I'll provide the links for those. But yeah, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you share the video, hit that thumb or hit the bell so you can get the notifications whenever I post. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram. Instagram is ic_Kona_N. Other than that, guys, I really appreciate you watching this video, and I hope this install helps you. Have a good day.